different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter.
Bonjour, good morning, and it's a delight to be back on your screen once again for the maiden edition of the 2020 Sports Nation. Yes, we are back on your screens. The best 120 minutes of a sports show is back live on Platinum TV GH. We're live on Facebook, Platinum TV GH, live on YouTube, Platinum TV GH, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com, not forgetting the Platinum TV app. My name is Samuel Zigah. I'll be in the driving seat from now till 9:30 a.m. with the best latest in the world of sports. The wars of Accra Hasselhoff continues. The Ghana Premier League enters its second gear, and of course, the Ghana Football Association is kickstarting something new. This week, we'll be expecting a broadcast rights owner of the Ghana Premier League. So it's an expectant week ahead of every football loving fan here in Ghana and beyond. And the FA Cup, the English FA Cup, also happened over this weekend, with some games also about to happen later tonight. We'll be looking into all these right here on the Sports Nation. Remember, the show is proudly sponsored by the African Center for Sports Studies, Africa's most innovative sports college. They are located inside the Zenith University College, behind the Ghana Trade Fair Center, Labadi, Accra, West Africa, Ghana. And we are live, we are global, we are everywhere. We've taken over the airways from now till 9:30 a.m. there. This is a new vibe, a new year, 2020, the 6th of January, 2026. 120, that's the number for today. Yes, those who do numerology, you are out there, you think you can read meanings into today's date, of course you are allowed to do so. Remember, this is an interactive show. You can send your views via Facebook, Platinum TV GH, YouTube, Platinum TV GH, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com there. Yes, the WhatsApp line is on your screen. Do well to send a message. Let me hear from you, and I'll be very glad to share it around with the rest of the world. The show is airborne, and welcome on board. Going for a quick breather. We are right back to continue here on the Sports Nation.
Men Who Matter, the most trending sports discussion platform, where all the men of caliber from the different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter.
Remember, we're live on Facebook, Platinum TVG, live on YouTube, Platinum TVG, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. The show is Sports Nation with yours truly, Samuel Zigah. I'll be in the driving seat from now till 9:30 here with my guests as we try to make sense of what has happened over the weekend, as well as look into what we should be expecting in the sporting space here. Remember, last weekend, that's on Friday and Saturday, the 2019-2020 edition of the Sprite Ball Championship for senior high schools happened at the Elwak Sports Stadium, and we will be talking more into that particular tournament. Basketball, we had Peter Busco getting the bragging right for the next 12 months as far as the male division is concerned, where Shama Senior High School also thumped St. Louis to win this year's edition of the female or girls category there. So of course, if you're out there, your school didn't participate, try and prepare, because we've got about some 12 months to prepare ahead or towards that particular competition. It is a competition for, senior high schools to rub shoulders and to get a bragging right as to who is the best or the creme de la creme in the basketball cycles. There's some great skills, slam dance and all that's being displayed over there at the Elwak Stadium over the weekend. We'll be looking into that, as well as we'll be reviewing the Ghana Premier League with 2 results. Some shocking results coming through yesterday. Accra Suffolk Wolves continues. Edward Odum is the interim manager, and he has been talking up the chances or how he could turn things around for Accra Suffolk there. Kumasi and Ekotoko also were big winners on Friday night. For the first time, we had Friday night football in Ghana, where they defeated Legon City FC. We had the Dancehall King, shattering everywhere at the Accra Sports Stadium on Friday night, performed at halftime. So a lot more to discuss here on the sports. Now, let me hear from you out there. Yes, what's your view on the week 2 of the Ghana Premier League, as well as your expectation ahead of tonight's FA Cup tie? Arsenal are in action. A new Arsenal, led by Mikel Arteta, are going to be in action later tonight in the FA Cup. Let me hear from you. Let me know what you think that particular game results will be there. And a lot more about Coach James Kwesi. Yes, he's also issued out a statement for the first time after that dissolvement or dissolution of the entire technical team members of the various national team was done or ranked by the GFA there. So a lot more to discuss here, and it's going to get better and bigger here on the Sports Nation. Remember, Sports Nation is the biggest nation in Ghana and beyond. We are global. We are live on Facebook, Platinum TVG, live on YouTube, Platinum TVG, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. So if you have any doubts about how you can watch us via the website, just log on to the website and look for live TV session and click on the live TV session. There are 3 channels over there: Platinum News, Platinum Plus, and Platinum Sports. The very channel I'm speaking on is the Platinum Sports. You get to be our companion, our biggest companion, once you click on that particular link there. Yes, let me not do so much talking here. Let's set the ball rolling with our regular segments here with the motivational quotes. I know the first ever motivational quote for 2020, I almost said 2019. No, I've gone past 2019, we've gone past 2019, and we are into 2020. So today's motivational quote, let's check out what today's motivational quote is. 6th of January 2020 there. So it's talking about failure. It says that forget failure, forget mistakes, forget everything except what you're going to do now. Let me repeat: forget failure, forget mistakes, forget everything except what you're going to be doing now. So it explains itself. Forget failure, forget the past, forget things that you've not been able to do right. Let's forge forward. Let's think about what is ahead of us, and think, of course, about what we can do better, or things that we can do to better our situations there. So some bit of motivational, message there for you, and we do our best to serve you and serve you right, because your interest is really, really paramount to us here at Platinum Sports or Platinum TV. Yes, of course. So we have our motivational quote being served this morning, served hot and served like a hot sea. The Hamatan has taken over the entire nation, and of course we at Platinum Sports are also taking over the entire nation here. Sports Nation is a big nation. That's our mantra for 2020 there. So of course, let's pick out yet another segment here, which has to do with the weather. My very favorite segment here. Of course, you'd have to plan your day. The 6th of January. You don't want to go out and be caught by surprise. You don't want to go outside and be shocked by the weather. So we here are going to be performing our duties by serving you right and serving you well as far as the weather is concerned. And the weather update is brought to us courtesy the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Ghana Meteorological Agency. You can follow them on Twitter at Ghana Met, on Facebook Ghana Meteorological Agency, and also log on to their website www.meteo.gov.gh.com or GH. Yes, you're going to be having that weather update there. Remember, we are in the Hamatan season, so you can't expect the weather to be any better than this. It's cool nights, cool afternoons, and cool atmosphere taking over the entire country. So this is going to be our weather update for the next 24 hours. Can we stand by for the weather updates? Right, so we have morning mist taking over the west coast of this country. We're going to be having dry and hazy conditions also throughout the middle belt there. Not forgetting cool morning and night. So we're going to be having very cool mornings and very cool nights as far as this season is concerned. And getting into the north there, up north, we're going to having dry and hazy conditions as well as cool mornings and nights there. So very, very interesting weather we're going to be experiencing. It cuts across the entire country, and we've broken it down, or it's been broken down into 3 sectors. We have the coastal sector, the middle sector, as well as the northern sector there. So I'm not going to be doing the individual cities. I'm not going to be delving into the individual cities to tell you how the weather is going to be looking like. We've done it a bit of a general update or general summary there. So let me take it again. The coastal sector will be experiencing morning mist and dry and hazy conditions, as well as cool and cool mornings and cool nights, as well as dry and hazy conditions around the middle belt today, where we also have similar conditions dominating over the northern belt there. So that's it by way of the weather update. Courtesy the Ghana Meteorological Agency. You can log on to their website www.meteo.gov.gh or follow them on Twitter at Ghana Met or Facebook Ghana Meteorological Agency to get the latest updates for the weather there. Remember, talking about social media handles, you can follow us on Twitter, Platinum TVGH, on Facebook, Platinum TVG, as well as on YouTube, Platinum TVG. If you're not subscribed to our channel yet, kindly do so. Kindly go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel to get the massive and amazing content you can ever think about in the world of sports. So away from the weather update, let's go on to yet another very interesting segment here where we talk digits, we talk numbers, we talk figures, and we history here. It's all about today in history. Today, the 6th of January. Let's look at what notable sporting event happened on this day sometime back then. If you're out there, let me remind you, if you're out there and you know of any sporting event that happened on this day sometime back, do well to send us a reminder, and we'll be very glad and excited to share and read aloud with the rest of the world, because we don't do this show without you. It's an interactive show. It's as conversational as ever, and we make sure that you are part and parcel of this particular show. The Sports Nation is a big nation there. So today in history, so the 6th of January 2012, exactly 8 years ago, Arsenal confirmed the return of star striker Thierry Henry, the club's all-time leading scorer on loan there. Of course, brilliant striker he is. Amazing striker he is there, Thierry Henry. He joined the club in 1999 to 2007 and went to Barcelona to continue his career over there. Came back and played for Arsenal. I remember he scoring that fantastic goal, that finesse strike, typical Thierry Henry goal against Leeds United in the FA Cup. Brilliant score, goal there by Thierry Henry, of course. So on this day in 2012, Arsenal confirmed the return of their star striker Thierry Henry. Yes, Thierry Daniel Henry, France international. He's a World Cup winner, Champions League winner with Barcelona. Yeah, he's won it all as far as the gongs in world football it's concerned there. So he was also part of the invincible squad, the team that went undefeated in 2003-2004 season, and also won 3 FA Cups with Arsenal there. An impeccable record he has in England there. So today in history, that's it by way of today in history there. If you're out there and you know of any notable sporting event that happened on this day sometime back, do well to send a reminder as always, and I'll be very glad and excited to share out loud with the rest of the world. The tongue twisting happening here on the Sports Nation. I beg your pardon me for that there. Still staying on the numbers, still staying on the digits. Can we stand by for our famous birthdays there? So let's look at which famous footballers or sportsmen are celebrating their birthdays today, the 6th of January 2020. I almost said 2019. Don't worry, I'll get used to it. This is the maiden show of 2020. Welcoming you back from the festive seasons. I'm sure you had fun during the Yuletide. Yes, of course, we also had fun during the Yuletide there. So first on the bill, we have Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll plays for West Ham United. He turns 31 today. How time flies. Andy Carroll is 31. Yes, he played for Newcastle United, went on to play for Liverpool, and these days plays for West Ham United. He turns 31 years today. Happy birthday, Andy Carroll. I almost said Danny Carroll. Andy Carroll, happy birthday to you. As well as Denis Suarez. Denis Suarez, he played for Barcelona, came on loan at Arsenal, never had an opportunity to express himself or explode in that particular loan stint he had at Arsenal under Unai Emery, and he's back. He's back in the Spanish La Liga there. Denis Suarez also turns 27 today. We have Alex Teixeira. Alex Teixeira was part of the Brazil squad that won silver, or that were defeated by Ghana in the 2009 World Youth Championship in Egypt. Alex Teixeira, he went on to play for Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine. These days plays in China. Alex Teixeira also celebrating his birthday today. He turns 30 years today. So Alex Teixeira, Denis Suarez, and Andy Carroll, they are our birthday celebrants today. If you know of any person celebrating his or her birthday today, do well to send a reminder, do well to send a message here on the Sports Nation, and I'll do the honors by reading aloud with the rest of the world. The birthday wishes are very important. Let me wish them here. Let them feel important. Let them know they are very important personalities because they share the same birthday with these sportsmen. Amazing sportsmen they are, regardless of how twisted their careers have been. They have also been amazing as far as the football or the sports is concerned. My name is Samuel Zigah. Remember, this show is proudly sponsored by the African Center for Sports Studies, Africa's most innovative sports college, sports medicine, sports journalism, sports management, as well as coaching. These are some of the courses that are studied over there at the African Center for Sports Studies. They are located inside the Zenith University College, behind the Ghana Trade Fair Center, Labadi, Accra, West Africa, Ghana. That's the location there. So do well to enroll as Africa's most innovative sports college. We're going for a quick breather. We are right back with the best, the latest in the world of sports. Do stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. Stay in your seat. We are right back after this.
Men Who Matter, the most trending sports discussion platform where all the men of caliber from the different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter.
From Bastia to Novara, from Udinese to Turin, through Modena to Milan, these are cities that welcome the heroes of Ghanaian soccer stars in what is known as Soccer Chart, an innovation of lifestyles as we surgeon on a journey to find our soccer stars, their lifestyles, football clubs, and personal lives exposed to millions, just as their skills. Soccer Chart brings you the deepest part of our heroes. This is Soccer Chart.
So welcome back from that break. Remember the show is live on Facebook, Platinum TV GH, live on YouTube, Platinum TV GH, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. Now let's get into the sports news update, or the sports update segment, where we keep you abreast with what's been happening in the world of sport. Let's start from the headquarters, of course, of the presidency, where the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on Saturday cut a sword for the construction of an astroturf at Alajo in Accra. The project is under the One Constituency $1 million initiative of the government and will be financed by the Coastal Development Authority. The artificial football park is expected to deepen efforts aimed at encouraging the youth to take up sports. When completed, the facility will have a standard pitch, an 11-a-side full pitch of 98 by 58 square meters and floodlights. Member of Parliament for the area, Henry Cortis, says he's hopeful that the sports facility will bring about an earthing of talents in the area. He says, I think that selecting AstroTurf as a project for this constituency is apt. It's going to unearth the hidden talent in the Zongo youth in this constituency. My prayer is that the youth ministry together with the Minister of Youth and Sports, will work in hand with me, so that as we continue to unearth hidden talents in the youth in this constituency, we will be able to help them develop their talents and then represent our country, both internally, externally, and at a higher level, so that together we can work and bring success to this country. So the project is expected to be completed in 6 months. There, away from the presidency, let's start base with the senior national team, where former Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah has said it was an honor to be given the opportunity to coach the senior national team. In a statement released on Sunday, he says his association with the Black Stars, first as a player and subsequently as a coach, has been a source of immense pride for him. He says, through the years I was in charge, I worked with my backroom staff to lay the strong foundation required for others to build on towards a better future and success for the team. I thank the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for the opportunity to serve the nation. I also express my appreciation to the Sports Ministry as well as the Ghana Football Association for their support, he said. Kwesi Appiah's contract as coach of the Black Stars expired on December 31st, 2019, but before a debate about whether the 54-year-old's contract will be renewed or not, the GFA terminated the contract of the technical staff of all the national teams, and it has also affected Coach James Kwesi Appiah. So there on the screens, we're going to be having Kwesi Appiah's full statement there, reading out, telling us that he's thanking the President of the Republic of Ghana, as well as every stakeholder who was once involved or who is involved in running the affairs of football in this country. So Kwesi Appiah is a goner, and the rumors of he coming back or reapplying for the post has been squashed per this particular statement released there. It means that Ghana is going to be moving on from Coach James Kwesi Appiah and his technical men, and in the coming days a possible replacement will be named by the Ghana Football Association there. So away from the Black Stars, let's do some domestic football, and let's take a stay with the Ghana Premier League, where Accra Suffolk and Great Olympics are joined bottom of the Ghana Premier League after 2 rounds, after they both suffered their second respective losses of the season there. So Hearts were thumped 3-0 at Mediama with goals from Prince Opukwajima and Nana Kofi Babel, while Olympics fell 1-0 defeat at home to Adriana Stars with a winning goal from Nathan Kwesi Richard in the 92nd minute. What a stunner it was there. Ash Gold also traveled to Techiman and got themselves a one-way win against 11-1. That's Mubarak Yusuf scoring the winner in that particular tie. Asante Kotoko also came back from a goal down to be Legon City's FC 3-1 at the Accra Sports Stadium on Friday night. Inter Allies followed Kotoko's lead and beat Betim United 2-1 also at the Accra Sports Stadium on Saturday, where Kwabena Chiremantin scored for Betim, while Victorian Adebayo also getting on the score sheet for Inter Allies over there. Wafa proved strong at home again, and they got past Ibusuan Draws 2-0 with Eric Asumani and Daniel Owusu getting the goals for the West African Football Academy lads there. The only blank game of the round happened in Brekum at the Brekum Golden City Park, where Brekum Chelsea and Liberty Professionals they drew blank there. 0-0 that game ended. Brekum Chelsea, they fluffed their lines. They had a spot kick and squandered it in that particular game. And so the league table has Mediama, Adriana Stars, Dreams FC, Ash Gold, and Kumana Sanekotoko lead in the pack on 6 points from their first 2 games. And in all, 17 goals were scored in the second round of that particular game. Let's catch highlights of the game between Wafa and Ebusuan Drafts at the Red Bull Arena in Sugakope. Alright, so that's how it happened at Sugakope Fiavet, to be precise, at the Red Bull Arena, where Wafa they put 2 past Ebusuan Drafts over there. We're going to be bringing you highlights of some other matches in our subsequent bulletin, talking about the PSN with my colleague Fidel Deke at 1 p.m. there. And of course, crossing carpet or switching sports to the basketball now. And over the weekend, there was the Sprite Ball Championship, the 2019-2020 edition of the Sprite Ball Championship at the Elwak Sports Stadium, where we had Ketabusco winning the men's division or the boys division, and Shamar Senior High School winning the female division. Let's get the highlights of that particular event that happened over the weekend. It was live on Platinum TV. Yes.
All right, another shot forward in front of him. Number 14 man on the ball now. Back to number 12. Will we see another 3-pointer? And that's a good miss. That's not that strength at its best. And that's another shot. Will he make this free throw to make it a three-point play? And he sinks it. All right, ball still with Infantipim. Another 3 attempts. Rebound.
All right, so some interesting skill, impeccable skills there from Ketabusco, dropping Infantipim over there over the weekend. I'm sure the Infantipim folks are quite surprised how Ketabusco stand them in that particular competition, and also Shama Senior High School thumping St. Louis in the girls division. Amazing basketball skills displayed over the weekend there, and it can go all around all day, to tell the story of how basketball is developing thick and fast in this country. Big credit to Rice Sport, led by Mr. Yao Sechi there. He's doing some amazing job for the basketball lovers in this country, as well as some very good individuals in his team or on his team that are also pushing the agenda of basketball in this country there. I remember before we wrapped up the year 2019, there was another basketball tournament. That's Accra versus Tema at the Bukum Boxing Arena there. It was lit. Accra were, the victors at the end of the day, getting the bragging rights for the year 2019, defeating their compatriots from Tema in that particular one there. So, of course, a lot more in basketball. We'll be seeing a lot more in basketball in the year 2020. Let's bring the sports back to football, where tonight there's going to be some, thrilling encounters over Europe. In England, we start off with the FA Cup, where we have Arsenal. They'll be at the Emirates Stadium and welcome Leeds United. That game is at 7:56 p.m. And also in the Italian Serie A, we have Bologna, Fiorentina, AC Milan, Sampdoria, Atalanta, Parma, Juventus, Cagliari, and Lecce also hosting Udinese. Napoli, Inter Milan, obviously the pick of the lot today is happening. Yes, Monday Night Football is happening. And in France, we have the French Cup, where we have Rennes versus Metz. John Boy's team, Metz, they will be in action against Rennes later tonight. So it's Monday, but still the football continues, still the sports continues. So that's it by way of the sports updates. We're going for a quick breather. We are right back with more here. I'll be introducing my guests as we delve into the discussion and also talk more about what we should look into or what we should look forward to as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. Do stick and stay. We are right back after this break.
From Bastia to Novara, from Udinese to Turin, through Modena to Milan, these are cities that welcome the heroes of Ghanaian soccer stars in what is known as Soccer Chart, an innovation of lifestyles as we sojourn on a journey to find our soccer stars, their lifestyles, football clubs, and personal lives exposed to millions, just as their skills. Soccer Chart brings you the deepest part of our heroes. This is Soccer Chart.
Men Who Matter, the most trending sports discussion platform where all the men of caliber from the different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter.
Welcome back here on the Sports Nation. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Platinum TVG, and live on YouTube, Platinum TVG, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. Don't forget in the Platinum TV app. If you don't have the app yet, kindly go on Google Play Store, download the app and install on your phone, and you'll be our biggest and greatest companion here on Platinum TV or Platinum Sports. My guest has joined me. He's seated already. My wingman, Yao Ej Minta. He is from Sports Limited. He is a staff writer for GhanaBasketball.com. Yao, welcome.
Thank you, Sammy.
Happy New Year to you.
Same.
I mean, good to have you on the Sports Nation, making your debut here.
Yeah, great to be here. Great to be here, Sammy.
I mean, it's a pleasure to have you on the show as well. I mean, you are part of Sports Limited, organizers of the Spryboard Championship. Actually, the 14th edition, right?
14th edition in 13 years.
In 13 years, massive inroads by Sports Limited. Great work from you guys. I mean, over the weekend, with it, Friday, Saturday, it happened again, and your takeaways from it: Ketabusco winning, stabbing Infantipim. Were you surprised by what happened in the boys division as well as the female division, where we had Shama defeating St. Louis?
Yes, I was a bit surprised because you look at Ketabusco, the fact that they lost the Volta Regional Championship title to St. Paul's Senior High School, and both qualified to the tournament, and it was Ketabusco that found its way to make it to the knockout stages. And as they progressed, they played better, and once they got that opening game win over Infantipim, beating them 32-24 in the opening game, that gave them that confidence to push ahead. But you look at their regional representative, that's St. Paul's. They didn't have that confidence going forward because they lost their opening game, and they just couldn't gather their momentum together in time to win their second game, and that eliminated them from the competition. So with Ketabusco, once that opening game win over Infantipim, that was the game changer, and it reminded me of the Osupersek.
Winning 2 years ago.
Winning 2 years ago. It was done in a similar fashion because Osupersek beat Infantipim in the opening game, and they met in the final game, and they beat them again. And it was the same thing that happened over the past weekend, where Ketabusco, that's Keta Business College, and they beat Infantipim in the opening game, and they met each other in the final game, and again Ketabusco won. So it was a bit surprising. Let's not forget the fact that Infantipim, they are the record winners of the Spryboard Championship. They've won it 5 times, and they were aiming to win their 6th title. So they went in as the favorites, although they didn't play, excellent throughout the competition. They weren't just blowing teams away, with the exception of their major win. That was the 49-8 win over secondary college.
Yeah.
They weren't blowing past teams, but they did just enough, more than enough to be able to move to the finals. But once they go to the final, they were the bookies' favorite to win it all, based on the fact that they have the guy who led them to 5 titles on their bench. That's Isaac Mensah, and the fact that they had that record going for them. So coming up against the Ketabusco side that was playing in the finals for the very first time.
Sure.
This was their first time they had progressed beyond the group stages. So objectively, Infantipim were the overall favorites.
Overall favorites to
they
win
got
it.
upset.
So on the screens now we have that final between Ketabusco and then Infantipim there. But yeah, talk to me about this thing about underdogs coming into the Sprite Ball competition. Now, we've seen colleges or senior high schools coming in with no chance. Nobody gives them a dog chance. Yeah. But look, they come in and then spring out surprises. 2 years ago it was Osupresek. Yeah. They start the same Infantipim. Yeah. And then now it's Ketabusco. They even found it very difficult qualifying from their zone in the Volta region. Yeah. Now they get to the national stage and they blew everyone apart. They were supremely, dominant. They look like a team to beat in that competition. Very, very brilliant and experienced players. If you ask me, people were already facing questions about, all of controversies and all that. But I think, look, they seem to be, right from the word go, after beating Infantipim, people started looking into them. Look, this team can go far and win it. And right at the quarterfinal, when they won it, that's where they started believing that, look, we can win it as a team. They seem to have had a particular, strength in their defense. They love to defend and love the free throws, and they were executing it to perfection. Was that the secret to their success in this tournament?
Yes, particularly against Infantipim. They practically dared Infantipim to shoot from deep, to shoot from 3-point range, and that was the strategy that they used to perfection, and that's what led them to win this title, because they packed the paint, they put a lot of defenders in the paint, and they make sure that they close the driving lanes to the basket. So Infantipim thrive on driving to the basket, but once they got double teamed every time, their main guy, that's Gabriel Hammond, he's the captain, he got double teamed every time he touched the ball, and they practically packed the paint. So they prevented Infantipim from driving to the basket. They closed down the driving lanes, and they dared Infantipim to shoot from 3-point range. And shooting from 3-point range is not the strongest point of Infantipim's game. At the Saddle College, throughout the entire tournament, they looked like the side that had a consistent threat from 3-point range. But Infantipim did not have that threat or consistency from 3-point range. They made a couple of shots late on in the final quarter, but in the quarters that preceded the final quarter, they didn't have their shooting stroke on point, and that's what the Ketabusco guys exploited to clinch that win, because they had a very strong roster, very big guys in there with very big with wonderful size, with wonderful size. So they could take the punishment. They could defend very well, and they also paid Infantipim with their own coin, because at the end of the day, they also drove to the basket a lot more, and they hit a couple of 3-point shots in there, but most of their points were generated off drives into the paint, because they were bigger than the Infantipim boys, because they were stronger than the Infantipim boys. Although Infantipim also packed the paint, but their guys were able to overpower the Infantipim lads and get to the basket. And once they did so, they got fouled in the process, and they'll go and shoot free throws and complete the 3-point plays. So that's what they used to win.
Talking about getting into the paint, there's this player, the MVP, Gidisu.
Yeah.
He was unguardable on the day. Looked like he was invincible. Nobody just could mark him on any day. Virtually, ran the whole show right from game 1 till the very last minute of the final. Talk to me about Gidisu.
Yeah, Gidisu. Well, he was named the MVP, the most valuable player, and like you said, there's been some controversy arising from his feat as the MVP and his play overall in the tournament. And I must say this, we are looking into that matter. We are still conducting our investigations. Remember, the schools were on break. They just returned to school, so we are furthering our investigations. I mean, I made this example of regarding the Olympics. Athletes are tested for drugs during the competition, but during the competition there is a lot going on.
Okay.
So after the competition, further tests are also conducted, because once the competition is done, there's a little bit more time for the organizers, for everyone involved, to do it a little bit easy and delve a little bit deeper into matters. So yes, I must say we are looking into all those situations. But in the tournament, Gidisu, like he said, he was virtually unguardable. He played very well. I was also impressed with his teammate, that's Prosper Davo.
The top guy,
the man in the 10 jersey.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was also he was also an excellent player in the tournament, and these two were the main threat for Ketabusco, and they dominated. And it reminded me of the time St. Augustine's College beat Infantipim. That was in the that was in the January 2016 edition. Augustins had two guys, that's Raymond Afram and Dennis Dubenu, and they were the two main guys who run the show and run riots on Infantipim. And so once you have two guys that are very good, and you can develop a very good strategy around them, you build around those two guys, or you build around a couple of guys in there, then that sets the tone for you to be able to go deeper in the tournament. And that's what Ketabusco did, and they were able to go all the way and win it, their first ever Spike Ball Championship.
Great stuff there. But talk to me about the female division. Shama, against St. Louis. We saw the St. Louis girls in tears. And they had one last free throw, and that could have changed the entire narrative.
Yeah, because it would have, had she made it, that's Bridget Ajiman, had she made that free throw, the game would have gone into overtime. But she missed her free throws, and that gave them Shama Senior High School the win and the title. And that was also their first time competing in the final. That was St. Louis's first time competing in the final. And for the first time in the history of the competition, we had two teams win the title in their first ever appearance in the final. So it just shows how the game has developed, where the talent is a little bit more widespread than before. It's no longer concentrated in some so-called big schools.
Sure.
Yes, now the talent is a little bit spread out, and that's good for the development of the sport. And I must say, with Shama, I wasn't too surprised, because I watched them last year. They placed third, and I traveled to Takoradi to watch their qualifiers, and they won the regional championship, and they beat Vijay in that particular final. And they have a very good team. They have a very good team. They lost a couple of ladies in their team. They graduated from last season's team, but the MVP, Gifting Nkrumah, she was able to hold it down for the Shama Senior High School team. And overall, I was impressed with their general play. They knew how to exploit the weakness of their opposing teams by deploying a high press, a full court press every time their opponent tried to check the ball in. And once they did so, they were able to retrieve possession and get extra chances to score the basket. So kudos to them. This is their first time, and I'm just hoping and praying that this is a signal to the Western Region Basketball Association and all the stakeholders in sports in the Western Region, to get their acts together and come to the support of these ladies. I remember Kumasi girls. They won back-to-back titles. And this year they placed third. Their court is in terrible shape, but even in that situation, they were able to overcome a lot of challenges that came their way. So I task people involved in sports in the Western region to help these girls to come to their aid, help them with the facilities that they need, give them that exposure. And once we do so, and not just Shama, St. Louis, this is their first time competing in the final. They did very well. Last season, these two teams met in the third and fourth place game, and Shama beat St. Louis to clinch bronze, and now they've progressed to the final. So that's a good story coming in from the Ashanti region and the Western region. And yes, we are all for the development of the sport, and we appreciate the effort and time being put in these young ones.
Of course, about talking about the development of basketball in this country and beyond. Right Sports Limited are doing some amazing job now. So now we have the Sprite Ball 2019-2020 edition of the Sprite Ball that's gone. What's next for the quarters of Right Sports Limited? What other competitions do we have to look forward to?
Okay. Yeah. Well, with regard to basketball, there is the Ball Out championship or competition, which is scheduled to take place on 1st February. It's a 3-on-3 basketball competition. Now, 3-on-3 basketball is an abridged version of the standard basketball game. So with 3x3, you have 3 players for each team, instead of the standard 5 players for each team. And it's, instead of playing full court, it's played half court. So you just have one basket, and you try to score as many points in that particular basket. Yes. So the more you score, the more time you have your hands on the ball.
So it means you defend and attack simultaneously.
You defend and attack simultaneously. But the point is, once you are scoring, you are the one scoring. You always get to be the one attacking the basket. You are the one in offense, and the team that is conceding points is the one trying to defend and prevent you from scoring.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the basic concept. Yes. So that's 3-on-3 or 3x3 basketball. Then that's in February. Then later in March and in April we have the UPAC. That's the Universities, Polytechnics, and Colleges Basketball Championship. Now you know that with the tertiary level, we have 3 sets. We have the public universities. That's the GUSA, and now the GUSA games are
currently ongoing.
They are ongoing. Then you have the technical universities. That's the GATUSA. Then the private universities. That's the PUSAC. So each sect has its respective games that they organize. Like I said, the GUSA, they are organizing their competition. Next year, GATUSA will also organize theirs. Later this year, PUSAC will also organize theirs. So instead of having these separate sects organize their competitions, we have brought about an umbrella competition. So the UPAC is an umbrella basketball competition where teams from the various sects come together to compete. So it's more or less the best of the best from each sect. So it will run from March to April. Then later on, we'll start the qualifiers for the Sprite Ball Championship. Then later we'll have the 2nd edition of the Africa Basketball Festival, like you said, and that's for basketball. Then we also are involved in the Azuma Nelson Fight Night. Yeah, we also organized.
Just last year, on the 27th of December.
27th of December, it happened at the Bukom Boxing Arena. So the Azuma Boxing Fight Night also will take place sometime in June or July, and I think we will definitely have 2 editions of the Azuma Nelson Boxing Fight Nights this year. So
brilliant.
Those are basically the layouts. Yes, we are still working on other initiatives and other programs to come up with later in the year. But at the moment, these are the ones that have been cleared to be known to the public.
Wow! Great! Inputs there from the Right Sports Limited. There, they don't just do basketball, but they delve into boxing as well. So, Yamita is a staff writer, Right Sports Limited, or Ghana Basketball.
Actually, it's basketballghana.com.
Okay, basketballghana.com. Yeah, I had to turn it there. So, basketballghana.com. Everything basketball in this country, they bring it to you. They bring it to your doorstep. And Yao Mintai is a staff writer. That he's a very versatile gentleman. He doesn't just do basketball. He talks football as well. Yes, he's a very good, sportsman. He talks football. And he supports one of the, controversial clubs in the world. I'm not mentioning it, but you out there, he supports one of the most controversial clubs in the world there. But looking forward to talking to him or engaging him more right here on the Sports Nation. We started the year and we are starting with Yao Minta. Hopefully we get to see you more here on the Sports Nation.
Yeah.
You know, Sports Nation is a big nation.
Yeah, sure. I know that very much. I know that very much.
Of course, we'll talk about the Premier League. We'll try to talk about the Ghana Premier League as well. Sure. And today we just had to talk about the Sprite Ball Championship, which happened over the weekend, and it was live on Platinum TV.
Yeah, and thank you very much for your partnership.
Was massive,
it was massive, because it helped to alleviate and it helped to promote the sport. It helped to amplify the sport of basketball. It helped to amplify the tournament as a whole. The Sprite Ball Championship is the biggest high school basketball tournament in Ghana, and with the partnership of Platinum TV, we help to push the agenda that this is indeed the biggest high school basketball tournament in Ghana, and we very much appreciate your help and your partnership. The coverage was excellent, the production was on point, and yes, we say thank you very much, and kudos to you guys, kudos to the entire team for promoting sports. Yes, I appreciate the fact that you're not just doing football, you are doing things beyond football, because that is the only way we can grow sports in Ghana, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. You know, we at Platinum Sports, we are not football media house. We are not football journalists sitting here. We are sports journalists. We do everything. We do boxing. We go and catch Bukumba and Bastille and things, and Charlie would touch base with them. We'll go and then look for the Jewel Tams, the Kwame Boaman, the basketball king cons in this country. And I mean, every other thing, the Benjamin Zamatis and co. We do completely everything. So that's the word so far from Platinum TV. Yaminta, thanks for having you on the Sports Nation. I mean, it's been really great having you here talking basketball. That's your place of speciality, and I love every input there. You know, personally, I'm not a basketball person, even though I love to talk about it, but I'm not a basketball person. But you know, watching the Sprite Ball actually sparked my interest in basketball. I want to watch the 2021 edition of the Sprite Ball Championship.
Definitely come through.
Hopefully, my school, St. Martin Senior High School, Adreju in Sawam. Hopefully, you put together a team, qualify from the Eastern region, and come and win.
Unfortunately, my school also didn't qualify. St. Augustine's College. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing.
Too bad.
But we can't have it all the time. So congratulations to Ketabusco and Shama. On behalf of Rice Sports, I thank the participating schools. We had 20 schools in all, 12 schools in the boys division and 8 schools in the girls division. Thankfully, all of them have made a safe return to their respective schools, their respective campuses, and they are ready to start the academic year. And yes, we thank them for their cooperation. We thank them for their understanding. We thank them for making themselves available to partner our company and the events. And we say thank you to their input, because without them, there can't be any Sprite Ball. And yes, they came, they competed, and they made friends, and they shared in the experience, and we say thank you to them.
Absolutely there. So we had Yao Minta, who is a rep of Right Sports Limited there. And so, yes, that's the conversation so far here. The show is live on Facebook, Platinum TVG, live on YouTube, Platinum TVG, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. Let me hear from you about how you felt when your school put in a Sprite Ball, or what you think happened. Of course, as far as the Sprite Ball tournament is concerned, that's the basketball competition for senior high school there. We'll be going for a quick breather. We are right back to talk some Ghana Premier League, as well as Coach James Kwesi Appiah's response or his statements concerning his sacking or exit as national team coach there. Do stick and stay in your seat. We are right back after this break.
From Bastia to Novara, from Udinese to Turin, through Modena to Milan, these are cities that welcome the heroes of Ghanaian soccer stars in what is known as Soccer Chart, an innovation of lifestyles as we surgeon on a journey to find our soccer stars, their lifestyles, football clubs, and personal lives exposed to millions, just as their skills. Soccer Chart brings you the deepest part of our heroes. This is Soccer Chart.
Men Who Matter, the most trending sports discussion platform where all the men of caliber from the different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter. Men Who Matter, the most trending sports discussion platform where all the men of caliber from the different sporting fields shed light on the past, the present, and the way forward. Watch Men Who Matter on Platinum Sports and check out who made it on this season's list. Men Who Matter.
Alright, so welcome back here on the Sports Nation. Sports Nation is a big nation. We are live on Facebook, Platinum TV GH, live on YouTube, Platinum TV GH, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. Yes, away from the basketball talks, now let's talk some football, let's talk some Ghana Premier League. And I've been joined by another guest here. Here's James McKeon. James McKeon, of course, he writes for ZoneFoot.net or ZoneFootNet. Let me get it right. ZoneFootNet. He's a sports journalist, a colleague journalist. I should put it. James, welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too.
Good to have you on the Sports Nation.
Yeah.
First ever show of 2020.
2020. Yeah, it's a privilege to be here.
It's a pleasure having you too. Yeah. Of course. I mean, a lot has happened in the world of sports in Ghana. We are delighted that the Ghana Premier League has started. Week 1, week 2 has been put to bear. Now we're looking at week 3 ahead there, but not until we actually review the matches in, game week 2 there. Hearts of Oak, they were big losers. They lost 3-0 at the Akon Park in Takwa. Kotoko defeated Legon City 3-1 at Crash Sports Stadium. Brekum, Chelsea, and Liberty played out a 0-0 draw. Wafa defeated Ibusiadas 2-0, plus a host of results there. But then, let's throw the spotlight on one very club, Accra Hearts of Oak. One of the biggest clubs in this country. They seem to be in trouble. They seem to be in a murky state. They've lost their first 2 games in the Premier League. Now, Kim Grant handled the first game and he was sacked during the week, and interim manager or interim coach Edward Neodum has been asked to take over. And he lost his first game against Mediama yesterday. Were you surprised by the results, or you expected a quick upturn in performance over the back? Before we get into the talks there, let's run through the results of game week 2 of the Ghana Premier League there. So we have it on our screens. There we have Mediama 3, Accra Suffolk 0. Ediana Stars did travel to Accra Sports Stadium to defeat Olympics 1-0. Bechem United, they lost 2-1 to Inter Allies. Wafa 2, Ebusian Drafts 0. And of course, Liberty Professionals also traveled to Brekum Golden City Park and played out a 0-0 draw with Brekum. Chelsea Ash Gold were 1-0 winners over Kumasi King Faisal. Here's some interesting results. Kumasi and Ekonoko also 3-1 winners over the new boys, Legon Cities FC. They call them the Man City of Ghana football, the Sheikh Mansours of Ghana football. There, yes, they lost 3-1 to Kumasi and Ekotoko. So that's how it panned out in game week 2 of the Ghana Premier League. James, back to you. We were talking about Accra Hatsufuk. Their woes continues. 2 games, they've drew blank. No goals scored. They are still winless in 2 games there. Should the fans be so... How worried? I mean, I shouldn't ask should the fans be worried. Of course, they should be worried. But how worried should they be, especially in the build-up to the start of the Premier League, where there were lots of talks about this being Hearts of Oak season, looking at how they fared in the NC Special Competition. It doesn't look all, gloomy for Hearts of Oak this season.
Yeah. As guys you said, it's very disappointing for Hearts of Oak. I think this is the first time they've lost their first 2 games since 2009-2010 season, and it's very disappointing. If you look at the league log, they are at the bottom there. They've scored 0 goals, and they've conceded 4 goals, and that's very abysmal for a club like Accra. So for being former African champions, being a big team in West Africa, everybody knows about Accra Suffolk. As you said, in the NC Special Competition, many people thought that this is Accra Suffolk's season. Looking at how Kim Grant was building the team with bringing in new players like Mana Fuma, Michelle Sapo, many people thought that, of course, this is Accra Suffolk, but it looks like the league is taking shape, and it's not that the picture is not that clear for Accra Suffolk, and it's very disappointing. If you look at their lineup, Coach Odum made 5 changes in there, and for me, I thought he changing Larry and bringing other players, I think it was very abysmal for him. Going to Akron State, that has always been a fortress for Mediama, and if you go to Mediama, Mediama is one of the teams in the competition that...
Look at one of the strongest teams in the Premier League.
Many people
have an outside
watch out
chance.
for. Yeah, they are leading the league law with more goals with Ediana Star. So if you ask Asofo, is very abysmal for them. I think the changes in the coaching staff is one of the things that's spoiling their chances in the league. When Kim Grant, we heard of rumors that it was because of the license certificate that he didn't have. But then I think it's a problem of management that has led to all this.
And it looked like for Kim Grant's situation, it didn't look like he losing the first game. It was a decision long coming before that Brekum Chelsea defeat.
Before the start of the season, they had already made that decision. But then they wrote to the FA for Kim Grant to be in the affairs of the helm of affairs. But then the first loss also brought some bit of what's happening.
Raise eyebrows.
Yeah, so we should take him off and let the coach Neodum take and let the team reach it. But then it's still the same old problems. I think that in the days coming, Asofok should do something about it.
But wasn't it so early to expect a quick upturn in performance from Coach Neodum? He just had about a week to handle the team for this big game, and it's against Mediama Sporting Club. Hearts are winless in about 8 games against Mediama, and out of 9 games until yesterday, Hearts had won just 1 at a TNA Park.
Yeah. But as I said earlier on, I think the expectations for us for coming into this league was very high. If you look at the caliber of team of Asofok, many people would, of course, raise the expectations for them. With Kim Grant being the helm of affairs, sacking him is another problem. Coach Neo, the one to expect that he has been with the team for quite a number of times. He was the former coach, and he went to Auroras, and he is back again. So many people thought that at least he's had some chance to train with the team, and he knows the boys very well.
And mind you, not to catch you, before the 2016-2017 or 2018 Ghana Premier League was truncated, Edward Neodum led Hearts of Oak to defeat Kotoko at the Babanyara Stadium.
1-0.
1-0 before the announced number 2.
So exactly my point. That's what I'm saying. He's more familiar with the team. This is not a new coach who's coming from somewhere who's now coming to blend with the situation or something. But then he knows the team very well and he knows the boys very well. If you could make 5 changes in your starting lineup, that means you know what you are doing. Okay. And Mediama trashing them 3-0. I think it's very abysmal for Accra Football. But then I know there are good days. It's early days yet. We have about 36 matches more to go. Yeah.
Well, but there's an initial talks about who should lead the team now. Now, Edward Neodum, he has a CAF license. Capable enough in all right or in all, requirements to be House of Oak's head coach. But looking at the kind of direction the board will want the team to go, do you think Edward Neodum will be the right man to take over as not just the interim, but the substantive head coach of the club?
Personally, I think that Edward Neodum is not that in the right position to coach Accra.
Why?
Someone will say he has coach license A, but then let's take Adriana Stars as a case study. For Tando, it's not a license A certificate coach. He is a license B, just as Kim Grant. But then look at the wonders he's doing with Adriana Stars. I think before the start of the season, Adriana Stars wrote to the FA to give them partial approval for their coach, so that they can work on it. So it's not, for me personally, it's not about you having, yes, if you have a license A certificate, you have some experience or some knowledge that other coaches don't have. But then I think it's more about the practical work, how you vibe with your players, what you tell them, what you don't tell them. For me, I don't think Coach Neodum has that momentum.
I don't think it's unfair to Neodum. For a coach that has handled Real Sportive in their formative years, handled a great deal of players who are mainstays in the Ghana Premier League now, handled Yaya Mohammed, Stephen Adams, players like Matiyama, Joe Fameye, like Joseph Pinto, James Akaminko of Ashgo. These are all players that have gone through his tutelage as a manager or as a coach. Yeah. And he's someone who, has been in and out, lost the youth development and all that. He's been with Tema Youth. He was with Tema Youth in the 2016-2017 Premier League season. And unfortunately, they got relegated. So, for a coach of that kind of experience with these players, Hearts of Oak is, do you think Hearts of Oak is bigger than Neodum?
You can have the experience, but then where there is consistency, how consistent has he been in the Ghana Premier? As you mentioned, he was with Tema Youth and got relegated. He hasn't. I personally know him when I was going to secondary school. I used to pass through Agri Road Stadium where he was coaching one of the coolest team, that is Ambassadors. And anytime you pass there, you could see that he's that strict type. But then, as I said, the word is consistency. How consistent has he been in the Ghana Premier League? As you mentioned, he's been with a whole lot of big players in there, but the word is consistency. And for me personally, I think Hearts of Oak is bigger than him.
Hearts of Oak is bigger than Edward Neodum. Well, that's the word so far from my guest here, James McKeown. You all there? Let me hear from you. What do you make of Coach Neodum's first game as head coach or interim coach of Accra Hearts of Oak? Should he stay, or Hearts of Oak should look for a different or another coach there? But let's switch the conversation away from Accra Hearts of Oak and then talk up the other teams in the Ghana Premier League. On Friday night, they defeated Legon City 3-1. They came from a goal down after Papastopoulos, the other name I can't mention, got Legon City in front. Then Augustine Okra got the equalizer, and then you had Emmanuel Jemfi scoring the second and third goal for Kumasi and Kotoko on Friday night. And you look at the Ghana Premier League, and people are already touting Kotoko as runaway league champions. They look like the strongest team in the Ghana Premier League. But no, this is early days yet. Let's see how it pans out there. But early season yet, and people have started calling Kotoko champions already. Looking at the kind of football they are playing under Maxwell Kunedu, who is also a new manager.
Yeah, as you said, it's early days yet, and people are calling Kotoko as the runaway leaders of the Ghana Premier League. But then, it's still early days yet. But then, if you look at the Kotoko team, over the period of these 2 seasons, or when the league was truncated, they've been one of the teams who have been very active when it comes to, let's say, the NC Special Competition. They were very active in it, and they were active in the African Continental Campaign, playing the CAF Confederations Cup, also playing the CAF Champions League. So the core of the team is that though they've bought so many players in about just a season. They've got about more than 20
They are at
players.
it again.
But then those players who have been featuring consistently are also they're talking about Emmanuel Jemfi. They brought in Da Costa. I think he's very good. Then we have Augustine Okra. He's blended with the team very much. And it's because they've had a lot of competition or they've been more involved in sporting activities when it comes to football. A whole lot of teams in Ghana were playing friendly matches here and there, but
low profile
yeah,
friendly.
they're very low profile. But when we talk about competitive matches, across Kumasi and Kotoko have been in there. So if they are leading the league by this time, it's very obvious that they are the ones who are leading the league at this time because the core players are there, the understanding between the chemistry between the players are there, and between Legon Cities and Asante Kotoko. For me, I thought that Legon City rushed too much in trying to score early. At the end of 45 minutes, their gas were out.
They ran out of gas.
They were very tired. And
that's been their habit this season. We saw them blow out a 2-goal lead against Liberty.
Yeah. I was very surprised when I later saw the full-time results, like, what's happening to them? But then, in the game against Asante Kotoko, it was very obvious that they tried to play out their best in the first half, and in the second half, they get very tired. They have some good players in there. The guy who scored the goals for them.
Papadopoulos.
I can't even mention
Greek Ghanaian, Papadopoulos, yes.
I think he's very good. He was from Atebubu Esperance in Kumasi, and Lagos City.
Charlie, we have some names who Atebubu Esperance.
Lagos City bought him for then. I think gradually he will be one of the players to watch out in the Ghanaian Premier League. We have
a quick feat.
Yeah, we have Isaac Payne still in the defense of that.
Very solid
in there. I think we have a whole lot of players to watch out for the Legon City boys. So I think for me, they've come prepared for the Ghana Premier League, but then I think the coach should talk to them about their energy level and how they rush into games too much. But they've brought a lot of fun into the Ghanaian league.
Oh yeah. I mean, on Friday night I was at the stadium and I had fun. I had mad fun aside the football. I think it was awesome experience there. Friday night football brought back to Ghana. I love the atmosphere at the Accra Sports Stadium, and we're looking forward to having more of these, more of Friday night football. People go about, working all like from Monday to Friday. They're looking for a place to chill out there. So maybe Friday night at the stadium won't be bad at all. And that's what happened last Friday there. But James, let's also talk about another Premier League side, Ashko, the Boase Ashko. They were 1-0 winners over Kumasi King Faisal. Big results, big 3 points for them on the road. And as you can tell, it looked like they are also one of the teams that we should also be looking out for as far as winning the Premier League is concerned. They also competed in Africa. They played in the CAF Confederations Cup, only fluffed their lines when they met RS Berkane. But looking like a very solid team in the season.
Yeah, they are one of the solid teams this season. If you take out, as you said, Kumasi and Kotoko out of those who've been competitive from when the league was truncated. Another team to mention is Ashanti Gold Sporting Club. They've been very competitive in the CAF Confederations Cup. They met with Akonangri FC, and we saw that hat-trick from Shafiu Mimini in the first half.
That's 10 minutes hat-trick.
Most of these players have been very competitive. Some of them played for the local Blasters, the Chan, and Abila. We have Shafiu Mimini, we have McCarthy in there.
So
most of them have been very active in the very competitive when the league was truncated. As good as a team, they are one of the teams that have been solid. Remember, they won the league, I think, in 2015-2016 season. And the core of the team is still there, and I think they are doing a great job in the Ghana Premier League. And I think Ashgold is one of the teams to watch out for. And as you said, they trust. The first time they scored Kumasi King 5-star there at Babaya Stadium in 13 years, they've never, in the history of the Ghana football, they've never done that before, scoring King Faisal. And for me, I think King Faisal didn't prepare coming into this. They never thought that Congress would make the decision that two teams should join the Ghana Premier League. And for me, I think
they don't seem prepared.
Yeah, they don't seem prepared. This one, I read that they've signed a new Serbian coach, and they've sacked Albert Comey, whom they signed about 2 weeks ago. And I think, for me, they are one of the teams that will be relegated at the end of the season.
Oh, already tipping King Faisal for relegation.
They don't seem
prepared. That's some interesting revelation over your interesting prediction over here. Let's talk about West African Football Academy. Wafa, they defeated Ebusua Dwarfs 2-0 at Fiave in the Volta Regional at this Red Bull Arena. It's a routine win, isn't it?
Very routine. that place is a fortress. If you're a team or if you're a big team going there, whether you are Accra Suffolk or Asante Kotoko, or if you are going to Zigah-6th, you know that you have a big storm ahead of you or a big headache ahead of you that you have to jump. So for Wafa, it's a routine over Ebusiadua, who are also struggling at the bottom of the Ghana Premier League. And so for Wafa, I think that they are on the right course. One thing that I find it difficult with Wafa is when we get to the middle of the season, they I don't know what
tone down a bit. Like they don't want to win the league.
I think it's the constant change of players in the team. Remember, it's an academy. Most of the players during the season go abroad and seek for greener pastures and play for other teams. So I think it's the constant change of the. But then, in and out, they try to find some good players who would replace those old players. The man of the match was Prosper here, but I think he's a very good player.
He is the perfect replacement for Gideon Waja.
Yeah, Gideon Waja. I think he's a good player for them. I think Wafa is also a team to watch out, but they're not one of the teams to win the
not title contenders.
Yeah, just
they flatter to deceive everything.
Yeah, and as I said, if you are that fortress, if you are a team that you are going there, once you hear the name Wafa, Zigah-6th or Red Bull Arena, you know that you have a headache to jump. I think we have interesting days ahead of us, and I think Wafa also going to have some sort of competition in the Ghana Premier League.
Right, so we're talking about Wafa. We have the highlights on the screen. Wafa's game against the Ebusian Dwarfs. They put 2 goals past the Ebusian Dwarfs at the Red Bull Arena in Zigah-6th there. But then let's also go and then talk about one other game. Brekum Chelsea, they were at the Boarding City Park and drew 0-0 with Dan Suman Liberty Professional. After that match, they won victory over Accra Suffolk. One would have thought that they could carry that momentum and defeat Liberty Professional. But hey, that didn't come so easy. They squandered a penalty kick in that game, and they should be disappointed getting just 1 point out of that game.
Of course, they should be disappointed. Playing at home and having a penalty just to win the game and you miss it is going to be very disappointing for them. But as you said, when they played against Accra Suffolk at Accra Sports Stadium, for me they were not too very much good. I think they had a plan going into that Accra Suffolk game. Their plan was to just sit back and defend for Accra Suffolk to attack and then get the ball and counter-attack and then score. So we saw that goal from Jonah Atukwe. Brilliant
strike by standard
from I think he's one of the players to watch out in the Ghanaian Premier League. In the NC Special Competition, he was doing very good, but then I think he was not noticed. But then this year in the Ghana Premier League, I think against Accra Suffolk, per the performance I saw him putting up, I think he's one of the good players. Brekum Chelsea, but then 0-0. I think Liberty to have 2 points from two games in the Ghanaian Premier League. It was unfortunate that they drew at home with Legon Cities conceding first 2 goals early in the first half, but then they came back again and getting 1 point from Brekum, I think is good for them. They have more games ahead of them. They can do better. Yeah.
Wow, talking about Liberty Professionals doing better. But, you know, going away from home to nick 1 point in the Ghana Premier League is not easy. Yeah. But hey, they had to do it and do it very well. Now, let's talk about Oli Jade, Oli Bobo, Oli Emashi, Oli Nkonson. They were stunned in the 92nd minute against Aduana Stars. Aduana Stars look like a team that year after year, after winning the Ghana Premier League twice, they've been that side that have been really dominant in the Ghana football cycles. They've been very strong and very stiff. They know what they want to do and they know what they are about. They came to the Accra Sports Stadium and took away all 3 points against the so-called land owners of the Accra Sports Stadium, so-called land owners of Accra Great Olympic. Were you surprised or shocked by that result?
I wasn't surprised or not shocked about that result. I knew Aduana Stars were going to win, even by a bigger margin, but I was surprised that it was only a 1-0 victory. I learned Accra Great Olympics put up a very great performance, but then at the end they were not able to defend to the end, and Aduana Stars had the winner via Richard Kwesi in the net and Richard Kwesi in there. I think if you look at the goal, I think the defenders lost concentration. They thought the game was up and
over, right at the death.
Yeah. So and for Great Olympics, so this is their most disappointing form ever since we started the Ghana Premier League since 2000. Yeah, they don't have a point. And with their fellow Accra neighbors, Accra so far, I think
the Accra teams are bleeding.
they are bottom at the league table. I think it's very abysmal for the Accra teams. For Accra Greats of Olympics, as I said, for Ken Fights, I also think they are not that prepared. Now, they had a coach who was very happy that, or was very much promising that he will win the first 5 matches, but then he brought in his resignation letter and he went out, and they have a new coach. I think
Prince Kofi. He also has a calf license A.
Yeah.
Went to India to have some short stints with one of the academy clubs. Has coached Unistar Academy before, and now has his first Premier League job as coach for Accra Great Olympics. A coach I know too well, Prince Kofi. They call him Cambodia. Yeah, of course. Well, very early days yet to start judging him, but let's see how it pans out there. And let's talk about how Olympics have made some good signings. They have former Ghana Premier League goal king Emmanuel Cloete and Glasson Awako, a World Cup winner in their ranks, and still things don't seem to go on well with them. They have a very formidable team. I can close my eyes and mention some top players in the team. They have Dombote, they have Matteo Dunga, they've got Emmanuel Amate, the senior brother of Daniel Amate. They have Glasson Awako, they have Emmanuel Cloete leading the lines for them. These are very, very good players on any day. Should be churning out the results for you. Yeah.
These are very good players, as you said. But then, these players will come on board and share the experience with the younger ones, or motivate the younger ones in there. As you said, it's early days yet for the coach to judge the coach. I think with the coach on board and with this experienced player also on board, I think that they will motivate the team for them to go forward and win at least more matches. It's early days yet for us to judge some of the just 2 games in there. We hope that they'll also be winning their games in there. So if you have a team that you have experienced players in there, I think it's very good for the vibe of the team. Those younger players will get to learn a lot from these experienced players. So I think it's very good for Accra Great Olympics.
And finally, one other club, they had to respond to last time's defeat. It was Inter Allies. After being hit for 4 in Doma, they had to bounce back in style and defeat Bechem United 2-1 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Victorian Adebayo, talk to me about that chap. He was the revelation at the 2017 WAFO competition and the NC Special Committee as well. Very brilliant player from Niger, and he is back with a bang with a goal and an assist in the Premier League.
I think it's very good for Ghana Premier League to have Victorian Adebayo back in. I quite remember during the NC Special Competition when Kotoko came to Tema and they played against Inter Allies. Most of the Kotoko fans were saying they'll buy Victorian Adebayo for Kotoko. Most of them gave him money. I think he's a very good chap. As you said, when he went to the Chan tournament, he was one of the discovery in the tournament. I think he went somewhere. He's back again in the Ghana Premier League.
He went away. He went to his home country, but Victorian Adebayo had issues, But good to have him back in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's very good to have him back in the Premier League. With Inter Allies, they've signed a whole lot of players. I think they've signed 2 defenders. They have Ivan Peglo in there. I think he's one of
very good midfielder.
One of the good players Ghana should watch out for. I think they having a win over Bechem United. It's a very good start for them. One would say that having been trashed by Adriana Stars 4-0, that will bring the momentum of the team now. But then they've picked up their pieces and they've come up again, won against Bechem United at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's a good start for them.
So, well, that's a wrap for the Ghana Premier League there. So, very interesting result that panned out in game week 2. In game week 3, a lot more to look out for. Hearts of Oak will be hosting Busuyan Drops at the Accra Sports Stadium, plus several other games that will be happening in the Ghana Premier League. We'll be looking forward to bringing you a comprehensive coverage of Ghana's #1 league, the Ghana Premier League. Not forgetting the Division 1 league will be kick-starting over this weekend, and we'll also be keeping tabs on most of those matches there in the 3 zones across the country. Tema Youth will be in action, Doma, Chen and Co will also be in action in Swatriman, Bandu Heart of Lions, Ochiman Planners. All the clubs that you can think of as far as the Division 1 league is concerned are going to be in action later this weekend when it officially gets off the mark there. So we'll be keeping tabs on that one there. So remember, this show is an interactive one. Do well to send your message, your shout outs via the WhatsApp line which is on the screen, via Facebook Platinum TV GH, YouTube Platinum TV GH, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com, and I'll do the honors by reading them out loud with the rest of the world. James McKeon is still my guest in the studio, my wingman. He is a colleague journalist. He writes for Zion Net. Zone Food, sorry, Charlie, I'm saying Zion Net. What's Zion doing to me? Zone Food, thanks for the correction there. So, let's get into another realm there. Let's talk about the Ghana national team, the Black Stars. James Kwesi last week, together with other national team coaches, were handed a letter of, it's what dissolution. I mean, it virtually means sack. It virtually means a sack there. Yes, we shouldn't be, so much, diplomatic about it. They've been sacked. That's what it means. And he issued out a statement last night thanking the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of GFA or the GFA as a body, and as well as priding himself in the fact that he played for the Black Stars and serving as a national team coach there. So it means that Kwesi is a goner. Ghana Black Stars would have to look beyond Coach James Kwesi. What next for the senior national team, the Black Stars? Kwesi contract ended officially on December 31st, 2019, and looking like no room for renewal at all. There's been some rumors going around about who could be Ghana's next coach. People are looking at an expatriate. People are looking at we getting CK Akono as the Black Stars coach. But we still not had any concrete communique from the Ghana Football Association there. Over the weekend, we had Ket Iyes-Okreku speaking on a sister media channel that, look, Ghana football has not been active. Thus, the reason for, that total overhaul there. It means that right from the Black Stars down to, I don't know how they call the under 15. What's their name? I don't know yet. Yeah. But so let's from Black Stars to Black Starlets and Black Maidens, and then the national under 15, which I don't know their name. They are black, whatever. All the coaches have been relieved of their posts there. What does it mean for Ghana football? Is that the right way forward? Give me your journalistic perspective on it.
For me, I think that speaking to one of the sister stations, he made it clear that he wants Ghana to be competitive again, right from under 17 to the under 20 to under 23, and to the national team. That's the Black Queens, Black Princesses, Black Starlets, Black Searchlight, Black Maidens,
all the blacks.
Yeah, all the blacks. He wants them to be competitive again. Those who are coming on board, obviously, those who are coming on board, he wants them to have a mindset that Ghana wants to win the tournament, or Ghana wants to. He made it point blank that he wants the under 17 to win the world under 17 World Cup. And for me, I think Ket-Okreku is doing this is because he sees these national teams as a feeder for the senior national team.
Exactly, it is.
if the mindset or the technicalities right from those national teams, that's under 20, under 17, both male and female, it's not right. It would obviously affect
trickle down to.
Yeah, it will obviously affect the Black Stars and the Black Queens. That's the reason for the while. But from my point of view, I think that he wanted to sack James Kwesi.
Oh, really?
One of the
what would be the reason for sacking Kwesi?
We all know that after the AFCON tournament in Egypt, many people were calling for the head of James Kwesi, but then he has signed a contract. So yesterday we got to know it was 31st December 2019, and if it has ended, one of the right ways to do it, or one of the diplomatic ways in quotes to do it, for everyone to understand, to do a total overhauling and see that this
affected everyone.
This is a new administration. We want to do a total overhauling, and we're waiting. We bring new people on board to come and coach the national team. I think James Kwesi is the main target in there. And as he said, many people said that in the press release Kwesi brought, many people thought before that it was His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo who appointed, and obviously he has made that point.
He virtually thanked him for helping himself.
For giving him that opportunity to coach the national team. And
so it confirms
what people have in their minds.
Have been saying.
And for me, I think it's the GFA who have the mandate to appoint coaches, not the president or something. So it tells us that most of the times these appointments we make on our national teams is
politically
influence from those in the helm of affairs. I think that's very bad on our part as a national team. So for Ket-Okreku, if he says he's doing a total overhauling, let him do the right thing for our national team. For me, I think Black Stars have some qualifiers. Princesses also have some qualifiers under 17. I think it's going to. I don't know who've been appointed as interim from these national lesser. For me, I heard that CK Akono. I don't know whether it's true.
There are rumors, but in Ghana, when you begin to hear rumors, there's an iota of truth in it. There's an iota of, because we heard about this total overhaul.
And Sika Kono is part of that team.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that were dissolved.
They are saying Sika Kono is the interim coach. I don't know for the other national teams, but then
that means he's invincible. The dissolvement didn't touch him.
And Kano. So if we have upcoming qualifiers for these national teams, that's under 17, under 20, I don't know those who been in the helm of affairs, but according to the interview you had on Joy FM, he says that they perfectly know that the upcoming games for the teams to play. And
arrangements have been made.
Yeah, arrangements have been made. So I think that they know what they are doing. I think that is, as I said, they wanted to sack James Christiapia, and that's what most of Ghanaians wanted.
They've succeeded.
Yeah, they've succeeded. And for me, the spell of the second coming of James Christiapia, I think it was very bad for me. I think he was picking it up against the win against South Africa and South Tome, but it was still early days here. We couldn't have known what have been ahead of us. So we are all praying and hoping that it will be better days for Ghana football when it comes to our national teams.
Let's stay on that conversation, on the fact that the GFA has said it and reiterated on several occasions that they don't really have the funds, they don't really have money. So now let's look at the dynamics in here. Who gets to be the next national team coach? Is it an expatriate or a local coach there, or a Ghanaian? Now, we don't have money, we say. The GFA doesn't have money. It's going to be completely very difficult to go for an expatriate because virtually that person is going to be taking or earning more than what Kwesiapia was earning. And there's been rumors that the Alali coach has been contacted, discussions has been done extensively, and he might be taking over there. So, should that happen, doesn't that squash every other narrative that the Ghana FA doesn't have money to fund football in this country, or the FA doesn't have money in his coffers?
Yeah, we all know that the FA doesn't have money, but for me, I think that we should stay and go in for a Ghanaian coach. Yeah, a Ghanaian coach. I think it's time that we give our own some opportunities. James Kwesiapia is not.
People seem to be disappointed in our own, but they seem to disappoint the country on countless occasions.
No, I think there are good coaches out there that can.
Can you stick your neck out and mention some?
Yeah, I think Sika
possible Black Stars coaches.
Sika Kono is
Kim Grant. Why do you laugh? Kim Grant, Sika Kono.
I think Sika Kono is in the right state to coach the national team. And it's not about going to bring about a big coach or a coach who has the name out there. At least we can start with someone who has the prospect of becoming a big national team coach.
Black Stars is not Matthew Mackerel.
I know it's not Matthew Mackerel.
This is Ghana's senior national.
We've seen coaches in various teams who were not that top notch when they took the helm of affairs, but then gradually with time, I think what we have to do
Jonathan
as a nation,
Southgate one.
Yeah. Gary Southgate is one. When
Gary Southgate,
Capello was in there taking a lot of money, we saw what Gary Southgate is doing in the national team. I think that's the step we have to take. And I think GFA should put a vision there for the national. This is what we want to achieve in the next 10 years. With that vision, with that vision or with that roadmap, any coach who comes will know what to do for the national team to be okay. And as you were saying, GFA doesn't have money. Also, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, that is one of the ministry that is less financed, together with the chieftaincy ministry. And going in for expatriate, I think, is going to be one of the disappointing things GFA have to do. Now, Kwesiapia was taking $30,000 a month. I don't know if an expatriate he's going to take more than that. So I think financially we should go in for a Ghanaian coach, and from the financial part for the vision, I think
should it always be about finances or getting the best coach to get us some laurels? Now, it will be highly unfair to talk about finances. We don't have money, blah blah, and still expect laurels if you go in for someone you think financially makes sense, or someone you think could do the job and then could limit your or cut your expenses. So if you're looking at cutting expenses, then we shouldn't be expecting a Gongo or a trophy. Well, I mean, people have been mentioning. I know this is an expensive joke, but people are already calling that Black Stars should go in for Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino for Black Stars.
No. That is going to cost us a whole lot of money. But as you mentioned, it shouldn't be about finances, but then the person who can do the job and give us trophies in our cabinet. That should be our number one priority as a nation, going in for a coach. As I said, the going for a coach shouldn't be about someone who already has a name or is top notch up there on the ladder board, but then someone who we see have a prospect. And as I said, the GFA should have the roadmap for the national teams in the next 10 years, next 5 years, this what we want to achieve. So once a coach comes, or even once someone's got you are the coach of Blasters, you know what to do. You know what to do for the national team to be okay. So let's see the arrangement they have for this.
Well, on your submission about having the unknown names being the coach of national teams there, until Joachim Low, until he taking over as German national team coach, he didn't really have that name, that clout. A lot of people touted Jürgen Klinsmann to be that man to handle the team. He was given the 2006 World Cup team. He failed to win it on home soil. Yeah. Then there was a switch, Joachim Low. He was given the space, time and chance, and gone. He won the World Cup for them. 2010, they almost won it, but they couldn't. They were third. No, sorry. They were in the semi-finals. And then in 2014, they were world champions already. He's still the manager of the team. He's still the coach of the team. So
even in this 2018,
where they had a shambolic run at Russia, he's still in charge, looking forward to having a very perfect 2020.
Exactly my point.
So we should be patient. Then we should have been patient with Kwesi Appiah.
With Kwesi Appiah second coming, many people thought that he was doing well at Sudan with some big team in Sudan. So if you go back for him, it is okay. But then people forget that national team coaching is different from coaching a club. Most of the times with the club, the coach is very consistent with the players, he's always with the play. But then with the national team, it's a matter of time. Whenever there's competition qualifies, you come back. And for Kwesi Appiah, we always say that he's a great scout for the national team. A whole lot of players.
Why do you relegate Kwesi Appiah to scouting?
No, I didn't say he's a scout. See, many people see him as a great scout because of the players that have passed through his hands, brought in
obviously
a whole lot of players. I think he's very good at that. And I think he has already said, but not for that. If not for that, we could have brought him or find a space for him, maybe in the technical directorates of the GFA, for him to do some job for Ghana.
Interesting bit of information there from my guest, James Markin. Remember, this show is live on Facebook, Platinum TVG, live on YouTube, Platinum TVG, as well as on www.myplatinumtv.com. Let me hear from you. Send through your message, send through your comments, and I'll be very glad to read and share them with the rest of the world here. Some messages have been coming. Let me try and read them before we get back into the conversation there. This one is coming through from Awal London Suleimana. He says that nice one to the Sports Nation crew. I'm loving the show from my base in Cape Coast. Yeah, Awal London Suleimana. Yes, thank you very much. Also, we have Jeffrey Galala Saki. He says he's also doing the watching from his base in Accra. Obed Awuni is also doing the watching from the Accra Technical University, he says. Okay, so Roland Troops Abalansa, I don't know if I got the name right. He also says he's joined the party. And of course, he buys into the mantra that Sports Nation is a big nation. Yes, indeed, Sports Nation is a big nation. Nana Kweku also says that he's enjoying the show live from his base. Neti Romero Jr. Emmanuel has also joined the party and is doing the viewing live from his base in Nungwa in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. In Shraba, Ifia Amwakun also glued to her channel doing the watching there. Richard Nana, sorry. Says, Sami, I'm doing the watching in Tema Newtown. Big shout out to you, Richard Nana Sari. And Mami Esi Aqua also says she's doing the watching in Osu. Okay, thank you very much for being a part and parcel of the Sports Nation there. Okay, so this one is also coming from Shetiel Zigah. He says that, okay, Accra House of Folk are not a serious club. How can you sack your coach one game into the season and expect a win there? Okay, well, he is throwing out at Accra Hearts of Folk there. Also, okay, James Esiedu says that Kumasi Sande Kotoko will win the league hands down. Well, let's see how it pans out. Still some 36 matches to go. Let's see how it goes. It is a marathon and it's not a sprint there. And Senior Dennis Nana Jemfi has also joined the party. He is also doing the watching. He's a quality journalist here. Thank you very much, Senior Dennis Nana Jemfi, for joining the party. Yes, it's party time here on the Sports Nation. Back to the conversation, back to the studio. with my guest James McKeon. James, all right, so away from the Black Stars, away from the Ghana Premier League, let's cross carpet to Europe where there were some matches over the weekend. Let's start off from the English League, or in England, where we had some games in the FA Cup, the Emirates FA Cup. Tonight, Arsenal, your team Arsenal, are in action against Leeds United, but we'll come to that first. Your takeaways: Liverpool were 1-0 winners in a Merseyside derby at Anfield against Everton. They paraded a young or youth side and still managed to beat Ancelotti at Anfield. Talk to me about that game.
Yeah, it was a Merseyside derby in FA Cup fashion, but Ancelotti brought in a team that looks like they are playing the English Premier League, and Klopp brought in a younger team, a sign that he's not concentrating on the FA Cup too much, but that he's concentrating on the league and maybe the Champions League. So many people thought, or many people made the predictions that with the lineups of these two teams, Everton were obviously going to be the better side to win against Liverpool. But then, remember, Ancelotti and Klopp have met about, I think this is the fourth time they are meeting. They've already met in the Champions League when Ancelotti was coaching Napoli. And I think Ancelotti beat him twice, and this time around Klopp made it.
Had one over.
Yeah, had one over by beating, and that goal from Curtis Jones, I think that was so sublime. Some
brilliant
shots,
strike.
I think that's the brilliant way for your boyhood club, Liverpool. I think that Liverpool are in gradually, though they may not seem to concentrate much on the FA Cup, but gradually are getting closer to the cup, though it's early days yet for us to predict who is going to win it. But it's very disappointing for Everton, who brought up a starting lineup that looked like they were playing the Premiership.
Started Theo Walcott, Calvert-Lewin,
Richarlison,
Sigurdsson,
Schneiderlin, all of them.
Sidibe. Come on.
All of them were in there. So many people thought that, as I said, Everton were the side that were going to do it. But I think Ancelotti is doing quite a great job with Everton when he came. But then I think it's a matter of time for the players to get his vision. I think with Calvert-Lewin in there, I think he's one of the players that is been a discovery since Ancelotti came. I think that Ancelotti has spoken to him that, look, he can do great things in there with how you used to play. I think he has given the guy much confidence up there. So kudos to Liverpool for winning against Everton.
Let's talk about one player who plays for Everton, Moise Kean. Already people are saying that move from Juventus to Everton was a wrong move. And it's still showing, still early days, but it's showing. He's yet to hit the back of the net and looks cut a single figure in every game. Like, he doesn't really, I mean, Duncan Ferguson brought him on against Man United and took him out immediately. Yesterday as well, he came on and then just couldn't fine-tune with the rhythm of Everton's game. How much more time does he need to settle in England, Moise Kean?
So when he came to England, when he came to Everton, many people thought that it's a new country, it's a new club, new set of players, new set of friends, language barriers, so then he wouldn't be able to be adaptive in the Everton squad. But then time and time again, he has been given opportunities to prove himself. But then I don't know what's the problem with Moise Kean. I don't know whether he was affected with those racism chants when he was.
I mean, that was in Italy.
Yeah, that was in Italy. I mean, with that, he's an Italian and he should be conversant with that. But when he was in Italy, he was doing match job, super job for me. I think he left Juventus because of playing time. Many people thought that, though he was given some chances, coming from the substitution. Teenager. Yeah, he was still coming from the substitution, but still he was doing quite a great job. And many people thought that, I think Juventus' plan was to give him much more playing time at Everton and then come back for him. I think he's on loan. But then he's been given the opportunities, more playing time, but then he hasn't been able to prove himself. And if you have a coach like Ancelotti in there, you have to prove to him that you can do it. And once you don't prove it to him, other players will take your space and lead the team up into victory. But then I think Ancelotti should give him more time.
More time.
Yeah, more time.
Just McKeon calling for more time for Moise Kean at Everton. Well, let's see how it pans out in the subsequent matches for the Italian striker there. Let's cross carpet and talk about Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur. They were nearly stabbed at the Riverside. They played against Middlesbrough. That game ended 1-1. It took a Lucas Moura equalizer to get Tottenham back into the game. And now they have settled for a replay in the FA Cup. Torrid time of the season, torrid season. And then you having FA Cup playoffs at the third round already. What does it mean to Jose Mourinho and the rest of the Tottenham Hotspur team or players, especially when they are going to be losing or missing their key man, Harry Kane?
For Tottenham, I think they've not been able to come over their wheels when they started this season with Mauricio Pochettino leaving. He lost the dressing room, of course, and many people at the start of the season, many people thought most players were going to go with Eriksen being linked with Real Madrid and Barcelona. We have Toby Alderweireld, we have Vertonghen, who are running out of age.
Son.
We have Son. Most of these players want to move out because I think it's the end of an era for Mauricio Pochettino. But then came into the picture with Jose Mourinho in the picture, and hopes were made alive again. Many people were saying that with Mourinho at the end of affairs at Tottenham, he's going to win trophies for them, and if not even any trophy, the FA Cup, he should be able to win. Yesterday in their game, we could see that they wanted to just score Nottingham Forest and then go to the next round.
He paraded a very strong side.
They didn't want to play in any second round of the FA Cup, but then Nottingham Forest in the second half had their goal very early in the second half, and through a Lucas Moura header, they also had an equalizer, and I think they'll be disappointed, and Nottingham Forest obviously will be the happy side going to the next stage of the competition. I think they are going to plan for Tottenham very well. If you look at how they played yesterday, I think they had a game plan going to that game, and for Tottenham, as you said, they provided a whole lot of good players like as Everton, putting in match
That's
players.
a Premier League starting 11.
So it should tell you that they wanted to win that.
Sergio,
everyone was in
Toby
there.
Alderweireld,
Son, Eriksen,
Dele Alli,
Lucas Moura, everybody featured. That should tell you that they wanted to kill the game in the first round of the FA Cup, but then they have to do it the second time when they play against Nottingham Forest again.
It's a very big one for Jose Mourinho and his Chargers as they look to go past Middlesbrough in the replay of the third round of the FA Cup. Tonight, the action continues where Arsenal will be at the Emirates Stadium and welcome Leeds United. Mikel Arteta gets to, manage his first FA Cup game as the boss of Arsenal. Talk to me about that game.
Mikel Arteta at the helm of affairs of Arsenal, playing against Leeds United. If you look at the last time these teams met, I think the last 5 fixtures, Arsenal have won 4 and 1 has been a draw. 3 of them has been in the FA Cup, and like whenever Arsenal meets Leeds United in the FA Cup, they obviously put them or eliminate them out of the competition. Mikel Arteta as a player has won the FA Cup twice for Arsenal in what was 9 years wait for a trophy, and he was the captain then, and he knows what is involved in playing the FA Cup. I read an article, I listened to him, he was saying the FA Cup is the only way to bring back the love of the fans back. They can win it where they can win the FA Cup, or they can bring back the love of the fans if they are able to win more games in the FA Cup. And I think for me, for the Premiership, it's already gone to Liverpool, and for him to win the back love of the Arsenal, I think he should concentrate more on the FA Cup. And they've been beating Leeds United always, and I think Leeds United is just they can beat them with just this
power.
Yeah, with just power.
All right, so quick prediction on that game. We'll take the show
for Arsenal.
A win for Arsenal.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so James McKeown going for an Arsenal win there. So that's where we'll draw the conversation here on the sports. We're taking the show home for the first edition, or the first show of the year 2020, the 6th of January 2020. And of course, remember this show is probably sponsored by the African Center for Sports Studies, Africa's most innovative sports. James McKeown was my guest, and earlier on I spoke to Yao Minta from Right Sports Limited to talk about the Sprite Basketball Championship that happened over the weekend there. So this is where we would wrap it all up here on the Sports Station. Thanks to you for doing the viewing out there, those who logged on to the Facebook website and on the app to watch us, and those who send through your messages. I say big shout out to you. Many, many thanks for being our biggest companion. The Sports Nation is always on the airwaves on Mondays through to Fridays between 7:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. And at 1 p.m., the PSN with my colleague Fidel Decades on. And at 2, Elikama Votri comes your way with Hot Sports there. So thanks again to the entire production crew. And on behalf of the production crew, we say a Happy New Year to you. And we are here. We are back and back with a bang. Sports Nation is a big nation. Enjoy your day. Take care. And bye-bye.